Hi, hello.
Sound check.
Hey guys, are we ready?
Six rounds.
12 races.
Tough competition.
Real racing.
From Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
Iconic tracks.
And breathtaking destinations.
This is the second season.
This is
The Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East.
we're ready to go.
That's it?
That's it.
For the first time in 2025, we go racing in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East Championship, and what a way to do it. For the first time in this championship's history, we are about to, at this circuit at least, we are about to go night racing at the Dubai Autodrome. Hello everybody, Scott Woodwist here to guide you through all of the action, whether you're watching all around the world or if you're watching trackside. First of all, I have to give a shout out to every single person that's both trackside in the grandstands and all around the circuit, and also down on the grid for the grid walk. Thank you ever so much for being here. We appreciate it's getting past 8:15 in the evening, but thanks for sticking around, for supporting the championship and for supporting the event. Really, really appreciate it. You're all absolutely fantastic, and we want to see as much support from you guys in the stands watching and cheering the drivers on, because we have got a fantastic race in prospect. This is the third event of a 6-event season. And we're getting set for racing here for our UAE doubleheader. Just on the camera here, good evening everybody, and we're getting set for what should be a magnificent first of 2 races. And in terms of a calendar that's already seen us take in Bahrain and Qatar, we're here for a doubleheader at UAE, and also here for Bahrain and for Jeddah. We'll get into more on that in a second. Now let's hand over to all the action and the energy down at the grid with Eric Engesser. Let's see what he's feeling on there. So Eric, down on the grid, what's the atmosphere like? It looks pretty electric down there on the grid walk.
Okay, so we say a very warm welcome also here from the grid. Under a pitch black sky, we see the Dubai Autodrome sign. It's time for racing in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, as Scott mentioned already. After Bahrain and Qatar, we are here in the UAE, and we're looking forward to some spectacular racing in the darkness. And with me, it's the head and promoter, Robert Lechner. Robert, we're seeing spectacular grid, a very special atmosphere here in Dubai. How much are you looking forward to racing now?
Very much so. It's just good evening. I checked my clock on the watch. It's after 8 p.m. It's the first night race we're doing here at Dubai Autodrome. We're next to the pole position car of Janez Diak. We saw an exciting qualifying already. I'm sure we are going to have a hopefully exciting race. And as a head and promoter, I want everyone to be safe. So most important, I want everyone to be safe, to have, of course, a great race, but also to come back tomorrow and enjoy qualifying and another race tomorrow.
As we have 2 races, and as you mentioned, our pole setter today, a very young man, 17 years old, from Germany. We see him here in the red and yellow DHL livery. Yeah, we spoke with him after qualifying for sure, as he had another pole position after the session, and that's what he said. Congrats, another pole position. Bring us a little bit through your qualifying.
Yeah, my lap was pretty decent, so yeah, it was a good one, and I'm looking forward to the race.
And bring us a little bit through the session. Everybody was waiting again. How were the conditions? A bit tricky with the wind everywhere?
Yes, we were waiting because there was still a lot of sand on the track. So yeah, we were waiting that the other cars are driving the sand away. Yeah, it worked pretty well. And yeah, in the end, of course, it helps me to got the pole position.
What kind of race do you expect? It's the first night race for the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East here in Dubai. And where do you see the main competitors for the race?
Yeah, of course, my teammate James Wallace will be my competitor. But yeah, the night race, I can't see pretty good in the darkness. So it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, of course, my goal is to win the race.
So how can you prepare when you say you don't see so good in the dark? Do you have some special glasses?
Yeah, I have my glasses on, and yeah, we will see how good it is.
The good thing is when you're in front, you don't have to see too much, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that I can drive in front, don't have to overtake. So it's going to be, hopefully for me, an easy race.
Good luck for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've heard Yannis Diak, a very promising young gun. Also, he was in the Porsche Carrera Cup in Germany, and well, he won already 3 races. Very promising talent.
Absolutely, he's our leader. He's the youngest driver on the grid. He also won a race already in the German Carrera Cup. So yeah, for sure, there's a bright future ahead of him. I want to wish him, but also everyone else on the grid, as we have to clear the grid soon. I want to wish everyone a good race, a safe race, and mainly good luck. I see Harry King over there. He's our driving standard advisor. I'm sure he can come over and cover for me while I'm going
to the commentary booth.
I'm not commentating. I leave it all to Scott, but I will be enjoying the race and race control. And
thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
Great race. Thank you. And as he mentioned, a winner in the Porsche Carrera Cup. Well, Germany. He's a multiple winner in the Porsche Super Cup. And you're here and you have a function. You're not only here for fun. What is it?
No, of course, participating as a driving standards advisor. So on the sideline role, but obviously, like you mentioned, I've had a pretty successful career in these Cup cars and spent a lot of time in them. So hopefully I can influence and positively impact the series. And yeah, what better place to do it here than in Dubai Autodrome under the lights.
And you won so many races in that car, but the atmosphere and the conditions are quite tricky. Have you ever raced in the darkness like this?
I've raced in darkness, but obviously with a lot of modern circuits, they have a lot of floodlit, whereas here there's a lot of darkness. Of course, it's a long run down into turn 1. And of course, you mix that and combine that with some darkness. It's definitely a new experience for all of these drivers. So excited to see how they will fare with it.
So I think we have to clear also the grid. We see James Wallace. He was some kind of, well, going into your footsteps as the Porsche Junior GB. So how promising is that young man from the UK?
Yeah, certainly he's bringing in a lot of effort. He's definitely realizing the level of Porsche Cup racing. To be successful in it, it requires a lot. But you see, you know, on the front row of the grid, he's certainly doing himself very proud. So excited to see how he develops.
And then we have another man from the UK, also here with much speed. And yeah, what can we expect from Angus Whiteside?
Of course, yeah, James and Angus, they raced previously last year, so they know each other's strengths and weaknesses very well. But of course, they're going to be combining that in the UAE, not just on the UK circuit. So yeah, wish them all the best. I'm sure they'll put up a good fight. And if Yannis has a good start, I think it will be an interesting race.
And looking a bit further down, we see the 2 green and white cars from the Saudi racing team, 2 teammates fighting against each other. You know that situation, always a bit tricky.
Yeah, however, they're doing themselves and their country and their nation very, very proud. Of course, their qualifying form has been very strong so far, so I'll be interested to see how that converts into race form.
Thank you so much. Always good to see you, Harry King. And it's time for Scott. Enjoy the show and enjoy that race here in Dubai.
Thank you very much, Eric, to Rob and to Harry King. Good to meet all of them over the weekend so far. The grid is being cleared. Only essential personnel left there as we are set for the first of 2 races this weekend as we kick off our UAE doubleheader here for round 3 of the 2024-25 Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East Championship. The grid is set and it should be quite an interesting race in prospect. Pretty interesting said that Janis Diak saying that he doesn't see too well in the dark and hope that his glasses can help. I was talking to James Wallace earlier on and said, would you possibly be able to have a good start and beat James Wallace off the line? And his response was, well, I've had a pretty good record so far, so let's see if he can uphold that. He'll start on the front row of the grid, of course, in car number 50. Here's the official Porsche Junior GB racer. His car is the black one with the grey Porsche decals along the side and up along the middle of the bonnet. Other cars to watch out for in the mix will go through the grid very shortly, as we see them on the grid now. So this is how they line up with pole position on driver's left. It's Janis Diak who starts on pole position, the championship leader who has James Wallace alongside him. Which one is going to be able to make the run down towards turn one? Angus Whiteside, the Pro-Am champion from Carrera Cup GB, starts third on the grid ahead of the first of the two Saudi racing machines, Saud Al Saud. He will start from fourth on the grid on the second row. His teammate, Khaled Al Ahmadi, in the second Saudi racing car will be starting from P5. He starts alongside the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland Pro-Am champion, Soren Spreng, from last year. He lines up in P6. Seventh place, we see Caleb Sumich, who makes his debut in the championship after having raced in the Porsche Sprint Challenge and Carrera Cup in Australia. He makes his debut starting from 7th. He had a lap time deleted that would have put him amongst the top 5, so watch for him to go from the 4th row of the grid. Alongside him, the very talented young Bulgarian lady racer Alexandra Vateva had a great run at Qatar last time, got herself 2 class podiums and even finished in the top 5 overall. What can she do from 8th on the grid? Make sure to cheer her on from P8 on the 4th row. Row 5 is where we find our Masters drivers, the fantastically named Banksy from Japan, who boasts Porsche Carrera Cup Japan experience, will start from 11th on the grid, and he has the 7x7 car, the bright white, yellow and black machine. He's alongside Peter Brecker in the GT Sports Technology number 85 Porsche, and he will be on the 5th row of the grid to round off the top 10. Row 6 sees another Bulgarian driver, Mike Mim, who does all his racing typically over in North America. He will start from 11th on the grid in the MV2 Racing LLC car, and Krista Andro, a very experienced Porsche Carrera Cup Scandinavia racer, rounds off the top 12, and he'll start in P10. There he is on screen if you're watching on the live stream. And then right at the back of the grid is Stanislav Minsky running under the Kyrgyzstan flag. He will be in the second of the GP Elite machines in car number 72. He was here a week ago racing in the Dubai 24 hours, so certainly got plenty of experience around this circuit, having run around it pretty much twice around the clock. So the grid has now been cleared. The cars will now head off onto their formation lap very shortly. Janis Diak's door is still open. A couple of drivers keeping their doors open because it is, even though it is the winter time, it is still quite warm around here. Temperature, if you look at the gauges for how it is around in the Motor City area of Dubai, still about 20 degrees, 55% humidity, about a 20-25 km/h wind in the air, so it's still a little bit windy. But I have to say, looking around from my commentary box position, there are grandstands filling on the main grandstand on the side. You've got people in the mix. It's looking pretty great, but this is all things Porsche. There's been fantastic atmosphere in the paddock. Even the safety car, naturally, is a Porsche. It's a Porsche Cayman in the mix, and that's getting ready to lead the cars off for their formation lap. And this race will run essentially for 30 minutes. And ultimately, Janis Diak will be hoping to convert pole position. It's his 4th pole in 5 races, to convert it into a 4th win in 5 races. He hasn't got a perfect record because the only man that has taken a win at a pole position from him so far this season is Koenig Bernighausen. Sadly not here this weekend, but Jana, other than that, won the first race in Bahrain and took the double in Qatar last time out. He wants to add another victory to his tallies, try and emulate his teammate from last year, the champion, Theo Overhaus, who has now gone on to become a Porsche junior driver for 2025. Let's see if Janis Diak can emulate that the same. There is just something about motorsport at night that really does excite the senses. When the sun goes down and the lights go up, things just get a little bit more magical. So moments away from the formation lap getting underway here for race 1 of the weekend at the Dubai Autodrome. Doors are closed. A couple of drivers just warming up the engines before they get set off on the green flag. 15-second board is up. And then they'll be using this lap to essentially just see what the conditions are like. Some 3 hours after they were out for qualifying, the temperatures dropped by a couple of degrees. It was about 22 degrees for qualifying. Now it's about 20 for the race. Green flag in the air, and the cars head off on their one and only formation lap, and they'll start to weave from side to side to generate heat and temperature and pressure into the tyres to get the brakes heated up to optimal temperature, to get them all ready for the start. They're not allowed to do standing starts or burnouts or practice starts. They have to come to the grid and pretty much as they've warmed up the tyres, so they'll use this as much as possible. What they can't do too much is weave too aggressively or use the tyres too much on this formation lap, because of course they only have 2 sets of tyres over the weekend, so they have to use the better set as the best they can in order to get the best possible run And of course, that's going to be tricky when you're making decisions going through a practice session and a qualifying session and then 2 races. Tyre management, particularly on a circuit like this, where it's both front and rear limited, I'll explain that in a second, is going to be absolutely crucial. What do I mean by front and rear limited? For front limited corners, it's long corners where you're putting a lot of strain on the front tyres, makes them wear, degrade, loses them grip a lot more quicker. You've got to be careful on those fast turns to be smooth and precise, to be accurate where you place the car in terms of your steering movements. When it comes to rear limited, it's cornered a little bit like this, going through turn 8 and through the on turn 9 and through the slower corners, like at the end of the back straight at turn 10 and even through turn 1. Slower corners means you need all the traction possible to come off the corners, get the best possible punch onto the straights, to get the best run and the most amount of top speed down towards the tighter corners, particularly here down the back straight when they're reaching some 250 kilometers an hour before they stand on the brakes and flick down through the sequential gears on the paddles of the race steering wheel, down from 6th down to 2nd and back through to the second half of a lap. So just a note of the championship standings coming into the weekend. So in terms of the overall standings, I guess also incorporates the pro drivers. Janis Stiac leads with 95 points ahead of James Wallace on 71. Angus Whiteside is 3rd with 62, so both of the Brits up there in 2nd and 3rd. Colin Bernickhausen, sadly not here this weekend, but he's up there with 45 points ahead of Saud Al-Sal. This is a great chance for both him and Khaled Al-Ahmadi to move up into the top 5. Mike Mim is currently 7th at the moment with Abdul Al-Khalafi in 8th, Alexandra Vateva 9th, and Peter Brecker in 10th. And then the rest of the people we've got Genim Al-Madid, Banksy, Mark J. Thomas, Ibrahim Abdulghani, Søren Spreng, Krista Andero, Thomas Kiefer, Saif Al-Amri and Stanislav Minsky. Those are the drivers who have been racing throughout the season. Pro-Am standings, Saud Al-Saud leads the way from Khaled Al-Ahmadi and Alexandra Vateva. In the Master standings, which is for drivers aged 40 and over, but for drivers that can't have ever held either an International A or an International B licence, it's Mike Mim who leads from Peter Brecker and Mark J. Thomas, who's not racing this weekend, and Banksy in 4th. And then in terms of the rookie standings, Janis Stiac leads the way there. And in the team standings, it's Saudi Racing who leads from Proton Hoover Competition, QMMF and Team GP Elite. So even though there is some lighting around the circuit, those headlights are going to be put to full use here this weekend, particularly tonight under the lights here in Dubai. So the car's not allowed to do packed practice starts, but they've warmed up the tyres as much as possible and now forming up on the grid. If you're on the grandstands, give these guys a wave and a cheer and cheer them off as they head off. This is going to be one fantastic race. Championship leader Janis Stiac then on pole position, looking to make it 4 wins out of 5 races. James Wallace alongside him on the front row of the grid is looking to hope to get his first victory of the season and try and keep it up in the race for the title. Green flag at the back. The 5 lights come on for the first time in 2025. Under the lights at the Dubai Autodrome. Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East is go! Strong start for Janis Stiac, but a better start from James Wallace alongside him on the front row. It's a drag race down towards turn 1. Janis Stiac on the right, James Wallace on the left. They're fighting for 3rd behind him. Now down towards turn 1. They almost touch wing mirrors. In towards the right-hander. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? Wallace or Stiac? It's Wallace. Wallace gets the lead in towards the first corner, and the Porsche GB Junior hits the front after turn 1. Angus Whiteside's up to 3rd place. The Pro-Am champion in GB from last year, and a great start from Søren Spreng. Where's that come from? Søren Spreng with a fantastic launch, the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany Pro-Am champion. He started back in, what was that? That was 6th on the grid, up to 4th already. There goes Stiac back up the inside, in towards turns 6 and 7. Gets it through, but Wallace wants the undercut on the exit, even halfway through lap 1, and they are going at it like it's the final lap. Into the banking of turn 9. Janis Stiac back into the lead, Wallace back into 2nd place, and now down the long straight, hitting some 250 plus Ks up towards the hairpin at turn 10. Under the lights at Dubai Autodrome. What a fantastic sight they make. Lights ablaze as they head down towards the big braking zone here. They'll go from 6th to 2nd from 250 Ks, and Wallace is on the outside now. Side by side, small little lock-up, I think, from Stiac, but he's held his position. Someone springs up to 4th, just muscling around on the outside of Angus Whiteside, and also a good start for Caleb Sumich. I said to watch for him. He started back in 7th on the grid on row 4, but he had a time deleted in qualifying that would have put him inside the top 5. So the young Australian, who has raced in Porsche Sprint Challenge Australia and then Porsche Carrera Cup Australia, is getting into the mix. The field makes its way out through the hairpin. And now towards the back end of the circuit for the end of lap number 1. 30 minutes or 14 laps, whichever they break first. Janis Stiac on this opening lap is not being allowed to get away too far. But that initial challenge from James Wallace shows that he's not going to have this his own way, I don't think. Out of the turn 15 up towards turn 16 here to end lap number 1 of race 1 of the weekend here at Dubai Autodrome. The first racing lap of 2025 in this season in Carrera Cup Middle East. And across the line they come, and it is going to be Janis Stiak, the championship leader, who leads them at the end of lap number 1 by 8/10 of a second from James Wallace in second place. Angus Whiteside is third. Soren Spreng is fourth. Saud Al Saudi's in 5th position. 6th is now Caleb Sumich up 1 spot where he started. Khalid Al Akhmadi is in 7th place. Banksy is in 8th and also leads the Masters category. Alexander Vateva's lost a place and is down to 9th. And Mike Mim in 10th place ahead of Krista Andero, Petr Brecker and Stanislav Minsky. That's the running order. And a couple of places made up, as I mentioned, for Soren Spreng. 2 places off the start for him. A lock-up for Soren Spreng, in fact. Just I'm saying good things about him. So he's lost a little bit of momentum. It might be under threat now from Saud Al Saud. On the contrary, he's actually letting him through. In fact, Saud Al Saud indicates and lets Caleb Sumich through. That's surprising. Whether he's got a problem or whether he was just offline. But either way, Saud Al Saud, maybe he set him up for the slipstream. I wonder if that was a bit of a cheeky tactic there from Saud Al Saud. He's let Caleb Sumich through, and I wonder if the Saudi driver just decided, right, you have the trap just in front of me, I'm going to grab the toe down towards turn 10, see if I can slingshot past you back once more. Has he done so? Not quite. He comes out through turn 10. There's a battle also going on between Akhmadi and Banksy. That's over position. And the rest of the field comes streaming through. Stiak going through the shot. We're watching Mike Mim here, the Bulgarian, battling with Krista Andero. This is the first proper racing lap, so Janis Stiak already setting purple sectors in sectors 1 and 2. So Stiak then leading the way and trying to extend that lead even further. As we watch on screen, Banksy, a wonderfully named driver, who's not to be confused with the mysterious British artist that likes to frequent London and put up very weird but wonderful artistic pieces. Very much a regular in Porsche Carrera Cup Japan. He's a great couple of mentors to try and help develop him a bit further, and had a really strong qualifying and strong practice session earlier on, so he's feeling quite confident this weekend. Someone else who's quite confident, Janis Stiak, first proper flying lap and sets a 2-minute 2.378, the only person to break into the 2-minute 2s. There's a 2-second lead at the end of lap number 2, so all the 2s coming up for car 40. Still Wallace in second place. And last time by, Whiteside's best lap was about 0.5 quicker, so Whiteside trying to go with him here. Gap is about 0.4 between the 2 Brits, but at the moment, Janis Stiak has this all his own way for the time being. Soren Spreng's lap also did a 2-minute 3.832, so he's lost about 2 or 3 tenths to the 2 cars in front. Caleb Sumich is now pulling away from Saud Al Saud, so he's now up into the top 5 now. As the pack goes pouring through, there's Banksy on the right and Alexandra Fateva in 9th position. The young Bulgarian lady racer, 20 years old, but I was talking to her last night, and one thing she's got plenty of determination, plenty of fire. She wants to succeed and become a great driver in the world of Porsche. She's going the right way about it. She's been racing in Porsche Sport Cup Germany past couple of seasons, now steps into a cup car for the first time in Carrera Cup Middle East, and she's so grateful to be here in this championship. She has great support from the team that she has and her family. Amazing progress she's made so far. She's driver coached by last year's Super Cup rookie champion, Robert De Haan, giving her plenty of guidance, and she's always pushing her to keep on developing, keep on getting better. And she's made some great progress. As I mentioned, she had a really fantastic race at Qatar. A couple of strong results, including a 5th place overall, which was a brilliant result for her, and she got 2 podiums in Pro-Am. So if she can make up a couple more places, there's a chance she could possibly catch Banksy and also Al Akhmadi, who's 3rd in Pro-Am class, who is the man that Banksy's chasing right now. She can stay with them. There's even a chance that if they battle, she can get involved in the mix too. This is the one thing that's brilliant about night racing. Just pairs of headlights dancing in the darkness. Particularly when it's Porsche, you get a great soundtrack with it too. Another new fastest lap of the race for Janis Stiak then, 2 minutes 2.304. But James Wallace has also broken into sub 2-minute 3s. He's done a 2:02.9, so the gap is still 2.5 seconds. So the young German pulling the gap up by another 0.5 to extend his lead after 3 laps. They wind their way through turns 1, 2, 3 and 4. What a magnificent sight and sound these Porsche Carrera Cup cars make. No wonder it's one of the most popular one-make series in the world. And the vast amount of experience levels and different drives, but also the range of championship experience these drivers have from almost the entire spectrum of Porsche Carrera Cup series is absolutely magnificent. There's about 8 or 9 different nationalities, and aside from maybe Brazil and France, every single other Carrera Cup championship is being represented with some kind of experience on this grid, and that's what makes this championship so brilliant, particularly when it's in the off-season compared to the Western world of motorsport, when you get a chance for them to come over here and keep their hand in and do a grand job. Another new fastest first sector of the race so far for Janis Stiak. It looked for me a little bit in through this part that James Wallace was a little bit closer, but that might have been a bit deception of the perspective of them coming down the back straight. James Wallace still holding in second place. The Brits are holding their own. Second and third of the championship overall in pro class. Stiak goes through, then Wallace, Whiteside. And it's Soren Spreng being chased by Caleb Sumich. Then the 2 Saudi cars, Al Saad and Ahmadi. Then it goes to Banksy. There's Alexandra Vateva in 9th place. And look at her lap time. She's about 7/10 off in the first sector, on the previous lap. She was a little bit off in the second sector, but they're all setting personal bests at this point. And believe it or not, as we watch these cars wind their way through the 2 Saudi racing cars, Janis Stiak is on for another new fastest lap of the race. When he comes across the line in a moment, if you're watching from the grandstands, again, give them a wave, give them a cheer. They appreciate the support. Across the line goes Stiak, and again, pumps in a 2 minutes 3.308, another new fastest lap of the race. But Wallace is getting quicker too. He was personal best in all 3 sectors, only lost 2/10 that time. And tyre management, particularly when you've only got limited tyre sets, is so crucial. So Janis Stiak is using up his tyres now, but how much could that potentially come back to hurt him if the likes of Wallace and Whiteside, maybe Soren Spreng, are just holding back a tiny bit, just to reserve a little bit more grip and tyre life so they can attack in the later parts of this race. Checking in with one of the class runnings, as I mentioned, Janis Stiak leading overall in the pro category and also the top rookie driver as well. In the Pro-Am category, Soren Spreng leads the way, the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland Pro-Am champion from last year. He currently sits in 4th overall and leads the Pro-Am standings from Saad Al Saud and Khaled Al Ahmadi, with Alexandra Vateva in 4th. Then the Masters contest is Banksy from Japan. He leads the way in 8th overall, ahead of Mike Mim in 2nd place in class, and Krista Anderoth from Sweden currently in 3rd. So we're approaching a third of the way through in terms of time distance. Remember, it's 20 minutes or it was 12 or 13 laps, depending on how many they can reach, or 14 laps, whichever they can reach first. Stiak goes through the shot, still chased by Wallace and Whiteside. This is quite a unique experience for the drivers. They had a night race at Bahrain for the first race of the season. The first time that this championship, in any guise since it started back in 2009 when it was known as the GT3 Cup Challenge. First time they've ever at the Dubai Autodrome raced here under the lights, so it's a really special occasion. And some drivers were never even raced under the lights before this season, so the fact they get to do it at least twice is quite a special thing to do. Believe it or not, Janis Stiak is still not done with the fastest sectors. He's gone purple in sector 2. Across the line he goes once more. Doesn't go faster than his best this time by, but Wallace went fractionally faster. 2 minute 2.460. Personal best in the 2nd and 3rd sectors. The gap has stabilised at 2.7. Now, is this James Wallace coming back and having saved his tyres in the early part of the race, whilst Janis Stiak tried to build up that gap? I don't think he's built up a big enough gap to really be safe if he starts to fall off the cliff. Because James Wallace is now setting personal bests, and the last lap he was a fraction faster, something like 16,000th of a second faster. It was a 2:02.476 for Stiak, a 2:02.460 for James Wallace. So he's getting a little bit closer, and I wonder if in this next segment of the race he'll start just to creep back towards the young German. We'll wait and see. And he's gone quicker in the first sector fraction. It's another new personal best for James Wallace. Now this is the time when James has held back, saved his tyres a little bit. Now he's getting the chance to try and push on a little bit more here. Flash the headlights for Caleb Sumich as he's lining up a pass on Soren Spreng for 4th position. They're in different classes, but it's for overall position. The Australian darts out on the inside line, under brakes for turn 10. And Soren Spreng doesn't fight him too hard. He might look for the undercut here, which he does. Tries to put himself alongside, but Sumich looks as though he's got that position made, and he has. So up goes into 4th position on his debut in this Carrera Cup Championship, Caleb Sumich. Soren Spreng, though, he's not the Pro-Am champion in Germany for nothing, and tries to go back round the outside at turn 12. Doesn't make that one stick, but he'll tail him now all the way down the hill towards turns 13, 14 and 15. They'll wind their way back towards the end of another lap. This will be 6 laps in the books at the end of it. And again, looking at the front runners as we continue to watch the battle for fourth between now Caleb Sumich in the plain silver Porsche and the wonderfully livery blue and yellow car of the German Soren Spreng. Just on that leading battle, it's coming down again. So again, fractionally fast by about a tenth or so for James Wallace in sector 2. What about end of sector 3? Another new personal best, and it's another new fastest lap. It's new fastest lap of the race this time. It wasn't fastest sectors, but it's enough of a good lap for James Wallace to steal the fastest lap of the race. So 2-minute 2.273. The gap is down fractionally to 2.6. So we'll keep an eye on that. Still, the battle goes on for fourth. I assume you can see there, Soren Spreng just trail braking through turn 1. Those front brakes on the Porsche glowing cherry red. Fantastic sight under the lights when you get to see these brakes really glowing as they stand on the pedal from some 150 miles an hour, some 250 kilometers an hour down that front straight. Inter-team battle here going on for 6th and 7th. This is for the 2nd and 3rd places on the Pro-Am podium between the 2 teammates of Saudi Racing, Saud Al Saud and Khaled Al Ahmadi. In terms of results, they'll kind of go in favour for consistency, in a way, to Saud Al Saud, because he has had a couple of top 5s. He was 5th in the first race at Bahrain, 4th in the first race at Qatar, was 6th in the second race at Bahrain, but there's a huge lock-up from Caleb Sumich. That's not going to help. That will have cooked his outside left front. And again, incidents like that just don't help your tyre life when you've only got 2 sets to work with over the weekend. So you've really got to be careful not to overwork it too much. Some great midfield battles developing here. Continue on. Now, interestingly enough, watching this little battle, personal best in the first sector for Alexandra Vateva. She's got about 3/10 quicker than both Khaled Al Ahmadi and Banksy. So this could be interesting. Maybe Alexandra also employing the James Wallace tactic of just saving her tyres a little bit and pushing on to try and catch up in the latter part of the race. They go through the shot, go Caleb Sumich and Soren Spreng, then Al Saud, Al Ahmadi. This is by far Banksy's best performance of the season. If you look at where he's been so far in the year, he's equaling his best finish because he did get an 8th place in the second race at Qatar, and he had a really impressive running qualifying. So it looks as though he's on good form so far. There goes Alexandra Vateva, 9th place. She can see the cars in front, and again, having a talk to her last night, she's so determined to do well in this championship and do well behind the wheel of her Porsche to make her home country Bulgaria proud, to make her parents and her team proud. She's going to push on as hard as she dares without overcooking the car too much. If she can get another solid top 10, that's another strong result. So the battle that goes on now for 6th, 7th and 8th continues between the 2 teammates. And of course, the harder these 2 fight each other, the easier it is for not only Soren Spreng to get a way out in front of them in the Pro-Am lead, but also for the likes of Banksy and even Vateva to get into the mix. So the 2 teammates, Saud Al Saud was fractionally faster, sets a new personal best first sector, and was a 10th quicker than Soren Spreng in front. So the gap was 1.1 seconds, down to a second now. Just gone past half distance in this race. So 14.5 minutes to go. Come the 2 teammates as Saud Al Saud hops his way through turn 10, the car just rocking around on its suspension. Not only do these sound fantastic, but these cars are a sight to behold. They're watching them bounce around on the curbs and weat and bob from left to right. They are fantastic race cars. They're thoroughbred race machines through and through. It's no wonder that there are no fewer than now 12 officially named and titled Carrera Cup championships, regional and national. And of course, there's the ultimate expression of it all, which is the Porsche Super Cup that follows the FIA Formula One World Championship, predominantly in the European rounds. So then for races at Grand Prix like Qatar last year and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia this year in April, it gives the drivers at the Middle Eastern Championship a chance to really shine and show what Carrera Cup Middle East is all about in front of a Grand Prix crowd, and what an opportunity that is for drivers like these to use that up as much as possible. There's a huge lock-up there, I'm presuming from Soren Spreng. Just there's a huge plume of smoke in the foreground, so I presume that was Soren Spreng using up his tyres a little more than he needs to. and just trying to do what he can to pull away from the cars in front of him. But in actual fact, if you look visibly, the two Saudi racing cars, well, not really exactly working together per se, but they're running in a pack together, and they are catching the two cars in front. Both Caleb Sumich and Soren Spreng might just have two more playmates in the moment, because the pair of Saudi drivers have been progressing quite quickly. Their last lap times, they're about half a second quicker to 4/10, better than both Sumich and Spreng, so they are closing in. Fairly even on the first sector from all four of them. As they now make their way out of turn 9 and onto that long back straight once again. There's Angus Whiteside running a comfortable racing third. So Angus Whiteside, it's only his 5th year of racing cars full stop, and started off when he was racing in the Ginetta GT Academy in 2021. He was by far a dominant rookie champion, then made the switch to the Porsche family from 2022 onwards. He's been in the Carrera Cup GB pretty much ever since, and was last year, drove well enough to become Pro-Am champion, and now of course he finds himself for the first time internationally racing a Porsche Cup car. Further back, this is our battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the Masters category. This is of course for drivers aged 40 and over that can't have ever held an FIA International A or B licence. Means that we don't get any ex-Grand Prix drivers. As much as we like them, it means they can't come in and steal all the glory. It's for drivers who, this is for more the enthusiasts, for the drivers that like to come in, not necessarily a professional driver, they're not a driver who does this on a regular basis, but like to just enjoy the experience of being a racing driver in a Porsche. Who doesn't want to do that as a racing driver? If you don't, then I think you're not quite telling the truth there, because it only takes one drive of one of these cars for people just to come out and go, wow, these are fantastic racing machines. So the battle here is Mike Mim, who's the current Masters points leader coming into the weekend. He's the US-based Bulgarian who does a lot of racing in the North American Championships. He's done pretty well in the Endurance Spec Series, but also in the Sprint Series 2, done a couple of strong results. Although the fact that Krista Andera got a better run out of the final corner means he might get a good run down towards turn 1 and pick him off for 10th place. Now the two Saudi cars are getting a little closer together, and also to the cars in front of them. I look at the timing string, which tells me that again they were in the 2-minute 3s. Caleb Sumich did a 2-minute 3.8, but Soren Spreng's coming back towards these two. He lost another 3/10 and he's only 1.1 seconds ahead of Saud Al Saud. But all Soren Spreng needs is for these two to start fighting, and it can really change positions. Speaking of battling, Mike Mim is not quite ready to give up that 10th position from, well, Krista Andera he has. Now he's trying to trying not to give up 11th place to Peter Brecker, the Czech driver in the GT Sports Technology machine, with white, gold and black. Some fantastic looking cars on this grid too, particularly Mike Mims is a particular favourite of Robert Lechner, as he was saying earlier on in the qualifying session. I don't blame him. It's a really wonderfully put together car livery-wise. Just whilst we're looking at this, I can tell you that the lead gap has stabilised at 2.7 seconds as Peter Brecker, lights flashing, goes diving down the inside in towards turn 10. Catches Mike Mim completely off guard, but the cherry red brakes suggest he went way too deep. And Mike Mim probably just tried to cover off the move and just absolutely say, you think you can make that pass happen? Absolutely not, sunshine. Come back another day and try again. So Mike Mim once again successfully comes back through, but you can see again under brakes just how hard they're standing on the pedal. Because you're under lights, you get a real appreciation of just how hard those front brakes are working. As Peter Brecker tries to find the traction and gets back onto the pace. Just keeping an eye on this battle. Lead gap is now up to 3.1 seconds, so Janusz Stigat back into the 2-minute 2s again. As we look back to our fight for 6th and 7th position, the two Saudi racing cars, the two Saudi drivers, Saud Al Saud and Khaled Al Ahmadi. In terms of their experience, Saud Al Saud was competing in last year's championship, finished 3rd in the Pro category, took 2 class wins, 6 total podiums, including those 2 wins, 3 poles and 2 fastest laps. But Khaled Al Ahmadi has also run in the, he first of all ran in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East in the Cayman, and he was the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East GT4 champion, so he certainly has plenty of pedigree by the Porsche. Now he's using the GT3 machine, the Cup car. Certainly appears to be enjoying himself a little more. You're seeing the timing string going green because Alexandra Vateva has now done a personal best of a 2 minutes 3.988, and that's better than the next 5 cars ahead of her. In fact, the only other cars that have gone into the 2-minute 3s on the last lap was the top 3. So saving a little bit of tyres certainly helped Alexandra to find a bit of pace here. Now I think we're about to see the two Saudi racing cars go into combat here with about 8 minutes to go. Certainly going to help this man, Soren Spreng, who in turn is trying to keep up with Caleb Sumich. They're in different classes, yes, but they're racing drivers. There's pride at stake here. Another hairpin. So, Saud Al Saud in car number 3. Khalid Al Ahmadi, his teammate, car 23. So which one of these two is going to end up in which order by the time we get to the checkered flag? I feel there's a battle brewing here. I imagine the instruction is fight fair, but do not run into each other. That's the last thing anyone wants. Just checking in whilst the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th comes into shot. Lead gap is 3.4 seconds. Another 3/10 gain for Janis Stiak, so he looks though he's got this race in control. Down the pit straight. Sumich, 4th position, the young Australian. Soren Spreng giving chase. And actually, his last lap he was 3/10 slower, but he looks closer than he has been before, so this is interesting. Speaking of closer, here come the Saudi twins. Al Saud is just holding off Al Ahmadi, who's giving him quite a bit of pressure here late in this race. On lap 11, slightly tighter line through that first part of turn 6 and towards turn 7. Saud rocking over the curb on the inside, using as much as he can. Another new personal best final sector for Alexandra Fateva. She's running pretty well, running now in the low 2-minute 4s and lapping quicker than the cars ahead. So could she be a factor in this last few laps of this race? There's essentially 3 laps to go, but now the battle is on. As Al Ahmadi gets the toe down towards turn 10, is he going to line up his teammate for a pass? Darts to the outside under braking, who's going to be later down into the hairpin. I'd love to have gone back to that because we've just seen our leaders here in 2nd, 3rd, and that's 1st and 2nd going through. Just putting a lap on Stanislav Minsky, the Kyrgyzstan driver, as Janis Stiak continues to hold station at front. The DHL machine, very reminiscent of last year when there was a red and yellow DHL machine leading, and that was Theo Overhaus. He went on to win the championship and become a Porsche Junior in 2025. This year, James Wallace, the Porsche Junior GB, the Great Britain junior driver, getting his experience here. Out wide there, getting a lap on. Minsky there was Angus Whiteside in 3rd place. James Wallace's history in racing, again, hasn't been senior racing very long. I remember him when I first saw him in 2021 when he would just come out of racing in Citroen Saxos and went into the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. Finished 3rd in that championship in 2021, and ever since then he's been into GT4 and GT3 machinery over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Then got himself into the Porsche Carrera Cup GP paddock, and then became their junior driver. And so now he runs the kind of works livery car, which is the black car with the grey Porsche lettering on the side and down the middle of the car on the top. So he's pushing on, certainly earned his right, and impressing here under the lights in Dubai. Now back to our Saudi drivers, and Al Saud has kept the position. He's still in 6th place. Al Ahmadi is still putting the pressure on. He might get another chance down towards turn 10 again, because we cut away just as they were going side by side. So if they are going to battle, hopefully we'll see the full thing this time. And Banksy's not too far away, just there in the blue and yellow at the top of the shot. And the lights at the top of the screen also is Alexandra Fateva, and her last lap was a 2 minutes 4.721. And both her and Banksy are lapping quicker than these two guys here in the Saudi pair. So I wonder if, again, as I said, the harder these two fight each other, the easier it is for the cars behind to catch up and for the cars in front to make a break. So they can't get it done too much. And this group is also putting a lap on Stanislav Minsky at the moment. The 2 Saudi cars and Banksy have gone through. Vateva is next. Flash the headlights from Alexandra. These two looking pretty racy at the moment. Under brakes. There, but at turn 12. There goes Vateva. Putting a lap on Minsky. Marty is close, but he's not just ultimately close enough to have that opportunity to make that work. And Janis Stiak goes on to the final lap of the race. So the leader has crossed the line to start this final tour of the Dubai Autodrome circuit. for tonight's race. One more tomorrow afternoon, and then it's barely a week, and we're once again heading across to the other main circuit in the UAE, Yas Marina. We do it all over again next weekend, and then there's a long break until April when the championship essentially takes the place of Porsche Carrera Super Cup, which will begin their season pretty much in Europe, and they will take on the support slots as support races to F1, both at Bahrain. It'll be their second visit of the championship, supporting the Grand Prix, and then again they'll finish off a week later after that, another double header for them at the Jeddah Cornu circuit in Saudi Arabia. And if things keep going the way they are right now, Janis Stiak looks as though he's currently on course at the moment, at this point in the season, to emulate his teammate from last year, Theo Overhaus, and make it 2 titles in a row for the DHL team. Of course, still a long way to go, still the end of this race, then tomorrow, then the 2 races at Yas Marina, and then back to Bahrain and the finale at Jeddah. But for Janis Stiak, who became the youngest ever race winner in Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland history last year when he took his first win at the Sachsenring, took another one, multiple podiums, won a race in his one-off appearance at Imola in Porsche Carrera Cup Italy, was the youngest driver in the championship at 16 years old last year. Of course, he's 17 now and didn't manage to win a race last year, but since the start of the season, he's won 3 of the first 4 races. Only Colin Bernickhauser took a victory from him in the second race at Bahrain. But for this young man right here, it's certainly proving himself to be quite a standout talent. Out of the final corner, if you're in the grandstands, give him a wave and a cheer and celebrate him. It's been 3 wins from 4 so far. Make it 4 from 5. Up to the checkered flag under the lights in Dubai. Janis Stiak wins race 1 of the weekend in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. A brilliant lights to flag drive after an initial challenge from the man in second place. James Wallace on the podium. A great drive from the GB Porsche Junior. Third place, 2 Brits on the podium. Angus Whiteside comes home to complete an all-pro podium. Caleb Sumich from 7th on the grid. I said to watch for him. He climbs up to 4th. 5th place goes to Soren Sprague. He takes the Pro-Am victory. Great drive from Soren after a great start. It's then 6th for Saud Al Saud, who wins that battle of the 2 Saudi racing drivers. He picks up 6th from Khaled Al Akmadi in 7th place. Banksy takes 8th and also the Masters victory. That, I think, at least equals his best result of the season. Yes, it's the same as he got in Qatar in race number 2. And then Alexandra Vateva 9th. She was setting personal best on that last lap. So again, she's one to watch for tomorrow. If that's her pace at the end of it, she was lapping quicker than the three or four cars in front of her. In fact, she was, on that last lap, the 3rd fastest driver on track on the last lap. So definitely one to watch, starting from wherever she'll start tomorrow. There's one more qualifying session to decide the grid for qualifying too. The rest of the finishing order, Krista Andero takes 2nd in Masters and finishes in P10. Then it's Mike Mim, 11th place, and 3rd place in Masters, followed by Petr Brecker and Stanislav Minsky. If you're around the circuit again, give these ladies and gents a round of applause and a clap. They deserve it, and a wave. Brilliant show put on by everyone here so far. Of course, we do it all again tomorrow, qualifying later in the morning, and then the race at around about, I think, sort of 2, 3 o'clock. And they get to race in the daytime once again here at Dubai. But for that man right there, Janis Stiak, he's proving to be quite the talent in Porsches. Came to light when he was racing in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, then just found his groove in Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland last year. And ever since the start of the season, way back last year when we began this 24-25 season, the 2nd Carrera Cup Middle East season, that it's held this prestigious title of a Carrera Cup championship. Janis Stiak has been the benchmark, but the likes of James Wallace and Colin Bernickhausen and others have certainly not made it that easy for him, and James Wallace made good on his promise that he was going to try and make a move into the first few corners. It was initially there, and he had the lead for about half a lap, but Janis Stiak just had enough to get back up the inside, get the lead back, and from there, once he had clear air, as much as James Wallace pushed, as much as he had good pace, Janis just had that little bit extra in reserve that was able to help him push forwards and hold the position. Once again, shout out to Angus Whiteside, great drive for 3rd place. Caleb Sumich, though, of course, first time in the championship, first time he's raced in the UAE, in a circuit like this in Dubai, and he picks up a 4th place after starting back in 7th on the grid. Impressive drive for the young Australian. And some intriguing times in the Pro-Am category. Soren Sprague, good start from him from what was 7th on the grid. Oh, sorry, the 6th on the grid, up to 1 space to 5th, but he won the Pro-Am, whereas the Saudi drivers dropped back a little bit. pulling up to the carbon fibre #1 board once again for the 4th time in 5 races. 17-year-old Janis Stiak. He is certainly marking himself out to follow in the wheel tracks of Teo Overhaus. And no wonder, it's been a superb effort all the way through. Quick handshake with one of the team members from his squad, his race engineer. And it's not all jumping on top of the car and fist pumping and celebrating. Sometimes some drivers, it's just all a matter of a night's work. And it certainly was for Janis Stiak. Doing a fine job. I do believe we're going to have a sort of special podium. So we've got a special podium built up in the paddock. So if there's anyone watching around the circuit, if you want to get up close, then you can come down to the inner paddock where there's going to be the podium for the top 3s in all the different classes, for the overall, for the top rookie as well, for the Pro-Ams, for the Masters, and also for the top team as well. But handshakes all round for the winner, Janis Stiak. And it's, of course, a Pro 1, 2, 3. Angus Whiteside, who's incredibly tall, is getting hugs and congratulations from his team members also. Great effort from the Proton Huber competition team. And how amazing that is. Top quality teams like Proton Huber Competition, Team GP Elite, GT Sports Technology and others who are coming in. Of course, teams like Saudi Racing that are bringing local and regional talent in the mix as well.
Thank you, Scott, and we have the winner here. Janne, congratulations. I mean, your 4th victory of the season. Such a dominance. How do you feel?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, of course, after a win, feel pretty good. Yeah, just thanks to the team. It was a mega car.
And bring us a little bit through the start.
Yeah, I mean, in the darkness, I can't see pretty good, but yeah, it was a challenge. Yeah, in the first lap, James overtook me at the start, but after that, yeah, I could overtake him again, and then it was just, yeah, drive a normal race, drive constant, and
yeah, it seems like business as usual. But for us, it was a quite good show to see you battling against each other. How was it in the car?
Yeah, pretty good. He had a great start, and then I could overtake him again in T7. Yeah, really nice.
And I could imagine you're very much looking forward to tomorrow, next race, next victory.
Yeah, of course, that's the goal.
Thank you very much, Janne. Congratulations one more time, and up to Scott.
Thank you very much, Eric. When I was throwing down, I didn't realise that was still going up once I pressed my button to the whole circuit. So you heard me trying to talk to the guys in the truck to hand down. I was going to give a proper hand down to Eric, but good to hear from Janne, and very reserved, like it was all a night's work for him. Simply just business as usual. Another win, another set of points, all good. Let's see if we can do this properly now. Actually, hand down to Eric to have a chat to our 2nd place driver after giving a quite strong challenge. We'll do that in a second because we've got the results on the screen here to run you through the results. So we'll do that. Then we'll hand down to Eric for 2nd place. So Janis Stiak then takes his 4th win from 5 races and by victory by 3.7 seconds in the end from James Wallace in 2nd place and Angus Whiteside in 3rd and Caleb Sumich and Soren Spreng rounding out the top 5. He also wins the Pro-Am category ahead of Saud Al Saud and Khaled Al Ahmadi. Then Banksy, Alex Vateva, Banksy winning the Masters category and Krista Andera in 10th place. Mike Mim 11th, Petr Brecker in 12th, and Stanislav Minsky in 13th place. I think we're going to head to the podium very shortly, so I'm sure we'll have some highlights of race number 1 coming up shortly. But do stay tuned if you're in the circuit or watching on the stream. We're going to have the podium very shortly in the paddock. So for myself, Scott Woodward, who hear from me very shortly, from all of us here so far, we'll head to Eric to have a chat for 2nd place.
And we have James Wallace here, who had a great race and was in the lead just after turn 1. Bring us a little bit through it.
Yeah, you know, we definitely seem to be getting a better start than Stiak at the moment, but the first few laps, obviously, he got me back on the first lap, and I think that's just a bit of mental side for me on the first few laps to learn. That's where the time's being lost, because I think I heard we had the fastest lap as well. So I think for me, it's just learning a bit more about my mental state and concentration, and hopefully then we'll be pushing Stiak for an actual win. So, but no, overall positive race, and definitely learned a lot more about myself this race than any other.
How difficult was it in the darkness? Janne just said he had problems with his eyes a little bit.
Yeah, you know, the dark here is pretty bad, especially going into turn 1. You kind of see your reference just about on the left, and then you kind of hope you turn into the turn 1 and hope for the best, really. And if you hit the apex, great. If you don't, then yeah, you might be losing a few tenths. So, no, definitely tricky conditions compared to Bahrain, but yeah, it's great to be back out in the car in 2025, and yeah, can't wait for another race tomorrow.
I could imagine ready for another battle tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we can pull it back in qualifying again tomorrow and go one step further maybe. So yeah, all good, thank you.
Thanks a lot, congrats, and you have to go to the ceremony, I guess. James Wallace, and don't know, back to Scott.
James, you know where to go?
Small technical hitch. There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy that? How was that? All good? Come on, make some noise. It's Porsche Carrera Cup, the Middle East. Come on, let's make some noise. That's more like it. Great stuff. Great first race here in Dubai. Great first race under the lights in Dubai Autodrome. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. Brilliant racing and great action up and down in all the classes. I'm not going to stand up here too much because you want to see the drivers, so we're going to bring them up first of all with overall in third place. So we're going to quickly dart back down here. Every time I cheer them up, make some noise, make them feel welcome. This is a great paddock, great community, so let's make them feel welcome, make them feel appreciated. So, first of all, we are going to start with the overall top three. 1 second. So, overall top three, first of all, let's present in third place from Great Britain. Make some noise for Angus Whiteside. Here comes Angus. Great effort from Angus in the mix. In second place, the Porsche GBG driver got a good start, got the lead briefly, but he's in second place. Make some noise for James Wallace. And making it 4 wins from the first 5 races. He really is on a great winning streak. Your winner in race 1 this weekend. Go crazy for the one and only Janusz Stiak. And Yana is also our Rookie Cup winner as well, first of all. So first of all, to present the trophy, both for P1 and for Rookie, please welcome Dr. Manfred Brown, Chief Executive Officer of Porsche Middle East and Africa. P1 only. Yeah. Presenting the trophy for second place, it's Jennifer Biel-Lemol from Porsche Motorsport. And presenting the trophy for third place, it's Mark Sinclair, General Manager of Porsche Centre Dubai and Northern Emirates. And one more trophy for Janusz Stiak. Once again onto the stage, we welcome Dr. Manfred Brownell, Chief Executive Officer of Porsche Motorsport Middle East and Africa, the Rookie Cup trophy to our winner, Janusz Stiak. Great job. Make some noise once again, ladies and gentlemen. Your overall top 3 for race 1 in Dubai. Congratulations. Up onto the top step of the podium. Third place, Angus Whiteside. Second place, James Wallace. And your winner, Janusz Stiak. Okay, ladies and gents, next we move on to our Pro-Am category in the top 3. Let's welcome them up onto the podium. First of all, in third place from Saudi Arabia, go crazy for Khalad Al-Ahmadi. Second place in Pro-Am, after a great fight with his teammate, goes to, from Saudi Arabia, Saud Al-Saud. And victory in race 1 in Pro-Am in Dubai makes the noise from 5th, 6th on the grid to 5th overall and the class win, Soren Sprang. And once again, we invite Dr. Manfred Brown, Chief Executive Officer of Porsche Middle East and Africa, to present the class-winning trophy to Soren Sprang in Pro-Am category. Well done. And once again, Jennifer Biel-Lemol, who is Porsche Motorsport, second place Pro-Am trophy to Saud Al-Saud. Congratulations. And third place in Pro-Am, once again presented by Mark Sinclair, General Manager of Porsche Centre Dubai and Northern Emirates. Presents the trophy to Khaled Al Akmadi. Well done. And drivers all together on the top step for a group photo, please, before we let you loose. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 in Pro-Am for race number 1. Well done. Really quick word with just quick word with very quick word for Soren for a second. Happy with that class win?
Sorry?
Happy with the class win?
Yeah, what a very good start, very good race. I'm really happy. First podium of the year, of the season even, so I'm happy.
Congratulations, well deserved, well done. Congratulations. So next we move on to the Masters category. Brilliantly battle for drivers aged 40 and over. So let's first of all welcome up in third place the points leader from Bulgaria, Mike Mim. Second place in Masters category, make some noise from Sweden, Krista Andero. And your winner in Masters, equaling his best overall result of the season, make some noise from Japan, it's Banksy! How effortlessly cool is Banksy with sunglasses? Fantastic. And to give him his Masters Winners Trophy once again, please welcome Dr. Manfred Brown, Chief Executive Officer, Porsche Middle East and Africa, to give the Masters Winning Trophy to Banksy. Second place in Masters, please welcome once again Jennifer Biela-Moll. Second place trophy going to Krista Andero from Sweden. Congratulations, Krista. And the third place trophy in Masters, once again presented by Mark Sinclair, General Manager of Porsche Centre Dubai and Northern Emirates, to Mike Mim from Bulgaria in third place. Well done.
Jan is still here. I told him to stay. He's still here.
Well done. Drivers together on the podium for a group photo. Drivers, if we can get you together on the top step. And once again, make some noise for your Masters top 3 in race number 1. Might leave him. Might leave him. Otherwise, may talk to Mike quickly? Mike, can we get a quick word with you for a second? Mike, brilliant job. You came into the weekend leading the championship in the Masters, so how was that for a race for you?
Well, it was a tough race for me. I mean, I had a good start, but I couldn't keep second position. But I'm still happy that I'm leading the championship. So tomorrow is another day. We'll give it a try. I'll try to do a better job tomorrow.
Great effort. Well done. And we'll see you for race 2 tomorrow.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So next we now move on to GCC, and we've got 2 drivers to welcome up here. So first of all, in GCC class, in second place, welcome back up once again, Khaled Al Akmadi. And onto the top step in GCC, making it a Saudi one too, to make some noise for Saud Al Saud. And once again, we welcome Dr. Manfred Brown, Chief Executive Officer from Porsche Middle East and Africa, to present the GCC winning trophy to Saud Al Saud. Congratulations. And once again, the second place trophy going to Khaled Al Ahmadi, presented by Jennifer Biela-Moll of Porsche Motorsport. Once again to Khaled Al Ahmadi, congratulations. And drivers, if we can get you together on the top step, just for a group photo with you two on the top step together. And your podium finishes in GCC class, make some noise. And our final trophy presentation is for the team winner from this race. So representing them, please welcome Josh Elliott for your team winners for race number 1, Proton Huber Competition. And to present him his trophy once again, Mark Sinclair, General Manager of Porsche Centre Dubai and Northern Emirates, for the winning team in race number 1, Proton Huber Competition. Well done. Yeah. Great job. Well done. Team winners for race number 1. And then before we wrap things up, can we get all of our drivers can we get them all up on the stage for a team photo, please? So all of our drivers, all of our class winners, every single one of them up onto the team podium for a team photo. And we will close off.
Maybe have a few words with Manfred quickly, huh, while they're ready.
Yeah.
Have a few words with Manfred?
Yeah.
Let's go. Das ist gut. Das ist am besten von uns. Ich will lauter. Just a few words about the win.
You want me to go? Am I going up with Manfred?
Manfred, willst du nicht?
So am I doing it here? Or?
Yep, just here. We can do it also like that. On the side. Go with him.
Be careful of this though. Yeah.
So while we're getting ready for the picture with Manfred, about partnership with Lechner Racing and so on.
Yeah. While we're just waiting for all our drivers to get together, see if we can have a quick word with Dr. Manfred Brown, who's the CEO, of course. Manfred, what a great occasion this is here in the UAE. You must be super proud of everything that Lechner Racing, the partners done, everyone that's done here in this region to put together such a fantastic show.
Yeah, well, it's really great, and it's also great that we now have the Porsche Carrera Cup back, because you probably remember that it was the Sprint Challenge, so Carrera Cup has something else to the fans, and I think this is really great that we have it, and that we are also racing in so many Emirates right now, and this is really great that we will continue with this, and I think also in the coming season we will actually even see more races in the Carrera Cup Middle East.
Fantastic. It's great setting for race 1, race 2.
Did a great job setting this up. I think we never had such a great setup as we have it today.
Great stuff. Thank you, Manfred. Appreciate it. Thank you, Doctor. Let's head on stage for a group picture with Robert Lechner and our personnel from Lechner Racing, the official partners of the championship. And for one last time, ladies and gentlemen, make all the noise you can for your 2024-25 Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East drivers and team members after race 1 in Dubai. Make some noise. Great job, everybody. Fantastic first race to kick things off. We do it all again tomorrow with qualifying and a second race. So be sure to be here. If you've been here all night tonight, thank you very much to everyone that's been turning out here for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East, the first race of 2025 in this season. We do it all again tomorrow in the second race. Qualifying and race number 2 comes up. But for myself, Scott Woodward, from all of us here at Dubai Autodrome, thank you for coming. Thanks for watching. Be sure to get in the action once again for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. But to sign off again, once again, ladies and gents, make some noise. A fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow for race number 2. Thank you very much.
Hello. Sound check.
Hey guys, are we ready?
Six rounds.
12 races.
Tough competition.
Real racing.
From Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
Iconic tracks.
And breathtaking destinations.
This is the second season.
This is
The Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East.
we're ready to go.
That's it?
That's it.